Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live here on the channel for the Black Hood Crew. I am your streamer slash chauffeur, BHCxDark. Name is always here in the corner. As always, you can follow along on YouTube and Facebook at the Black Hood Crew, and then follow along at my name directly on Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Trovo, TikTok, Instagram, and now Kick. It is Monday, June 12th of 2023, and I am on my way to work. It is a mostly cloudy, partly cloudy, depending on how you look at it, which direction you're looking in, kind of day. It was raining its butt off earlier. I could hear from inside my house. But right now it's not. And we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Hopefully a smooth one. Work-wise, yesterday was pretty uneventful, thankfully. Still Sunday shenanigans and people that definitely don't need to be there, but I'm more bracing for today because today's Monday, and I've already received a heads up from a coworker who is there right now telling me to put on my running shoes. That's not a good sign. So I have my soft shoes on, not necessarily running shoes, but they're more like a pair of slip-ons, kind of like the Skechers type deal. No laces, just quick slip-on, easy on, easy off. But they're very comfortable. They're good for, constant movement. They're not made by Skechers though, because Skechers are flipping expensive. Instead, these are by Adidas. So not too bad. Not too bad. Since I am back this week, I have just getting ready for streaming purposes this week. I have updated Fortnite for Friday, and I'll just make sure it's continually updated as we go along till Friday, as we jump right back into Fortnite. I saw they added that you can now save presets for your character, the style, accessories, any cosmetics and stuff like that. You can save them as a package, and then either load each one as you see fit, or actually set them to random, and it'll basically cycle through all of the ones you have saved. So that's good. That's good for those people that have like preferred characters that they play as, or preferred styles that they choose to have. It's nice. What the hell is this? Oh, they're doing work here. It's like electrical work. Oh, buddy, it's a bad place to park this van. Construction crews and the stuff that they do. Typical. Anyway, got around that mess. We're going to keep it going. Definitely ready to play some more Tears of the for you guys on Thursday. As part of my episode. Last week was episode 1 of Till I Beat It series, and we're just going to keep going as many episodes as it takes for me to beat Tears of the Kingdom on here on the channel. And we're just going to keep it going every Thursday by playing the game. I'm also playing the game on my personal Switch. And given the fact that I do not have that capability at the moment to stream directly from my Switch to the PC, I do not have that capability yet. However, once I do have that capability, if I haven't beaten Tears of the Kingdom by then I will be streaming other Zelda games from my Switch, as right now it is the only platform with the most Zelda games available to play on it, at least as of right now. And like I said, those games are The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the original versions from the N64, not the 3DS versions. Link's Awakening, which is the remake version, but there's also the original. The Minish Cap, which was available on the Game Boy Advance, is you can play it on the Switch, as well as obviously Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So that is a lot of Zelda games that can be played on a single console. I'm waiting to see if they allow DS capability. If that ever becomes a thing, and we'll be able to play both the Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks on the Switch, hopefully one day. And let's see, what else? The Wind Waker, hopefully the HD version will become available on the Switch, as that game is chef's kiss, beautiful. And then last but not least, hopefully we'll get an opportunity to play Twilight Princess on the Switch, which you already know that game is absolutely fantastic, and hopefully we'll get the HD release, which came out on the Wii U, along with the HD remake of Wind Waker. So hopefully we'll get both. Still got fingers crossed that with the success of Breath of the Wild and now its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, not only will we see a new Zelda title sometime in the future, but we'll also see them give the remake treatment like they did Link's Awakening, but do it for Oracle of Seasons and the Oracle of Ages, which both of those games, if you have not played them, I promise you, you are missing out. Both of those games are absolutely monster, straight fire, 10 out of 10. I play them again every so often just because they're that good. So yeah, by all means, I hope that those two games get the Awakening treatment, because again, they were fantastic. And if they were to release a 2-pack with both games, either both games on physical cartridges in one package, or one cartridge with both games and allow you to link your save over, either option would be great. But if they released it as 2 separate games, I would still pick it up day one release, not even digital, full physical copy, because I mean, come on, those games are just so good. So Wednesday we'll be playing Apex Legends again. Hopefully I'll get some better teammates. Hopefully I'll stop sucking. Even though I didn't do too bad this time around, I actually was able to get some hits in. I was actually able to kill a couple people. That one game that we lost, that we lasted pretty long, not only was I able to wipe an entire squad, but I was able to revive both of my teammates. So fairly impressive on my part, given the lack of my skill level. Um, so hopefully, that shows that I'm getting better, and it's not just a fluke on the part of the enemy team. Because I mean, not for nothing, like, I'm not the best player in the world, but I get my hits in, you know. But there are some people out there that are just absolutely terrible. And you're like, you're facing the wrong way. Okay, pow, take them out. You know what I mean? There's still that great shot that I did on Fortnite. That was pretty good. It was a very, very long range sniper shot. Picked the guy off from an incredible distance away. Still very fun. Winning my first ever match, 100-man battle royale. I won my first one ever. Top place, first place. And the fact that I've never played the before, you add that to the fact that I won my first one, you can see why, I feel pretty good about my skills sometimes. Not every time, but sometimes. And we'll see how good they get me. Let's see if I haven't, completely lost touch as we play on Friday. And then we'll see. Maybe, I'll get tired of Apex, find something else online, or just not online at all. Maybe I'll find a nice single-player game that's worth playing on Wednesday nights, as opposed to playing Apex online. We shall see. We shall see. In the meantime, schedule is as normal. Monday and Tuesday, episodes of me driving to work. Wednesday, Apex. Thursday is either VR or single player game Thursdays. And Friday, Fortnite. So we'll see how it goes. Now, you're just getting random messages and stuff here. Yes, I know I'm live, YouTube. Thanks. Anyway, so I've continued to play Tears of the Kingdom on my personal Switch. And given the fact that I'm streaming it on my PC, I'm leaving that save alone and just playing it only live, so you guys can see it being played. And again, the mods are not overly game breaking. The only one that might be a bit of a, for some people, at least when it comes to cheats or exploits or stuff of that nature, is the one where amiibo weapons, amiibo equipment, or champions equipment does not break. That equipment is unbreakable, but standard equipment that you acquire through the game does still break. I wouldn't necessarily find that game breaking, given the fact that some of those weapons, they are in the early game, they're fairly powerful, fairly useful. But in the late game, they're not enough. You definitely would need to use fuse weapons and higher tier equipment in the late game stages. I'm finding that out the hard way myself, as my personal save has a mix of low strength equipment and high grade stuff that I just refuse to use in case it breaks. Who's in this person move? Or buying flowers. What a loser. Anyway, so you can see why I put that mod in, knowing that it won't necessarily be game breaking. Because again, Standard equipment, this is the stuff that the game normally supplies you with, is still destructible. That equipment still breaks. Your early equipment, your mid-range equipment, and even the end game equipment that is not champion related or amiibo related will break. And again, there's only so many bits of equipment that fall into those two categories. And for the most part, they're not like, hey, let me turn this corner. Oh, look, there's Mifa Spear. Like, that's not how that works. For a weapon like Mifa Sphere, there's actually a short quest involved with acquiring it. For a weapon like Bigoron Sword, which is an amiibo equipment, there's no quest attached to it, but there is a fairly, I won't say fairly difficult, but a battle nonetheless. They force you to earn these weapons because they know that, for something that you can only acquire once in the game, it's got to be something to be earned. Another example is the Skyward Sword, which is from, obviously, the Legends of Zelda Skyward Sword. This is the first version of the sword, not the obviously completed Master Sword version, but this is the first version that Link acquires, Skyward Sword. That that sword is available in Tears of the Kingdom as a reward for I wouldn't say difficult, but it can be a long, drawn-out quest due to timing issues. And again, because I feel that as an item that has such a lengthy quest, although the mechanics around it are not overly difficult, like there's no crazy battles for this particular weapon. Still, the subject matter of acquiring, the way you acquire it, yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. It takes time, it takes planning, it takes precision to acquire the Skyward Sword in Tears of the Kingdom. So, I feel that because these weapons require you to either overcome a difficult enemy or a difficult situation, or the quest associated with it can be one that can be drawn out, it can be long, it can be complicated, making the reward for these items to then have them break. I feel it's, at least in this particular regard, if I can fix it, I will. So I did. I did not make any of the mods that I use. I do not have time to write mods, although it'd be nice to try out, see how it is. But the mods are available for free online. You do not need an account for the website that you download them from. A simple Google search will bring it up. There's many more out there, but for the purposes of creating where are you going? People. For the purposes of a live stream that doesn't involve anything game breaking, these mods do serve their purpose. Again, they're not going to break the game. They're not going to make it too easy. They're not. Most of them are not really like cheap. That's that noise. Trailer carrying the car to and in front of me has a flat tire. The trailer has a flat tire, not the truck hauling it. Probably doesn't even realize it. Because I could hear it. Probably not. Anyway, so yeah, I don't feel that in this particular case, because these weapons, unlike the ones in Breath of the Wild, which you could acquire through amiibos, hence the name amiibo equipment, this time around they're not easy to acquire. So I feel that part of the reward should be the fact that these weapons, because they are not easily obtainable, they should be unbreakable. And that's why I got this mod. Also, the reason why I left the rest of the equipment that can be acquired in the game as breakable is because, again, finding a sword on the ground is not a reward. Even completing a shrine and acquiring a high-level weapon is not a reward, even though technically it is. But I mean, like reward is you overcome great adversity in the form of a battle or a long drawn quest that had you traveling fairly long distances to complete. That the reward for that should be something worthwhile, especially for something that you can, again, only acquire once, like the Skyward Sword or Bigoron's sword. You can only acquire it once. So because you can only acquire it once, I put it so that those weapons could not break. Thus, they can be used and reused and continually used without fear of losing them. But at the same time, they're not overpowered. Neither of these weapons nor any others that you acquire in similar fashions, either through quest or through battle, are overpowered. They're not. In fact, I even left the Master Sword, which is the Blade of Evil's Bane, still breaks in Tears of the Kingdom. I left that one completely alone. Only the Champion's equipment and amiibo equipment does not break, because those are one-offs. And the Master Sword technically doesn't break, it just runs out of energy. And after about, I think, like 10 minutes, it's recharged, right back into the fight. So because technically you can't lose the Master Sword, I felt that that particular weapon leave all the mechanics intact, game mechanics intact, and the fact that it can break. So I did that. And again, the non-breaking only deals with amiibo equipment and Champions equipment. That's it. Otherwise, the game runs the same. Just high definition, 60 frames a second as opposed to 30. I did add the quality of life mod, which does add more things that can be acquired from boxes that you can break. These are like, you know, those boxes you find usually around the stables and stuff like that. Those big boxes destroyed. So instead of there being more situations where you're either, you know, cracking open a box and you're finding like maybe a single apple, maybe one arrow, if that. Instead, it changes it where now you have bundles of arrows and maybe even bunches of apples that you can acquire, per the fact that this is large storage boxes. So who the hell stores a single apple in a box as big as Link? You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole reasoning behind why I did it that way. Guess I don't leave any rags. Here, let's see here. So boxes destroyed, barrels destroyed will actually give you a substantial amount of items. Again, it's random between arrows and apples. Apples are extremely useful. On their own, they restore a Cordial Heart, which is in the early game a godsend, but in the late game, borderline useless until you start cooking. And if you can get your hand on some golden apples, oh, forget it. You can make some really good meals that not only restore most, or if not all, of Link's hearts, but as well as maybe even impart special effects like restoring stamina, maybe temporarily giving you a new stamina limit, maybe additional hearts past your current maximum, or maybe special effects on the way of, you know, heat resistance, fire resistance, ice resistance, electricity resistance, stuff like that, you know, and stuff that can be very useful early game and late game and all the time in between. So I feel good about the setup now because, again, it's not game breaking. So Thursday we'll dive back into it and we'll continue right from where we left off. Thankfully, the save system in Tears of the Kingdom is very similar to that, or almost exactly like that of Breath of the Wild, where if you save out in the middle of flipping nowhere, when you reload your save, that's exactly where you'll be standing, in the middle of flipping nowhere. If you had just entered a shrine or just left a shrine and you save, instead of starting like just standing outside of the shrine, it'll go ahead and, I think that does, I don't remember, but it'll start you right there. So it allows me to save, stop, and pick up right where I left off without, and you know, days can pass in between play times, and I'm still able to start and stop right from where I am. So that way you guys don't miss out on anything. You're not like, oh, why is he starting from there? Or has he been playing without streaming? No, I'm definitely playing. It's definitely live. And because of this save mechanic, I'm able to stop and start from a single point in the world, from single point in gameplay, and come right back to it with changing in between. So on that note, I've arrived at work, I'm parked, finishing getting myself ready. I will be back again tomorrow for another episode of me driving to work right here on the channel. That is the Black Hood Crew on YouTube and Facebook. And then there's my name directly on Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Trovo, TikTok, Instagram, and Kick. So until tomorrow, around 3:30-ish, around there, maybe a little more before, a little bit after, please, to everyone out there, be safe, be smart, and be excellent to each other. Take it easy.